Hello and welcome back for our final game of the day, Echo Fox versus Golden Guardians. Talking about these two squads, I think if you were to look at it through the lens of the spring split, it'd be a very lopsided matchup. Probably a lot of people not too interested in the idea that Golden Guardians could upset Echo Fox. Day 4, though, of the summer split, completely different story as these two teams are tied up at 2-1, and Golden Guardians' wins have been made in some impressive fashions.
Yeah, Team Liquid, Cloud9, 2 of their victories, very impressive, and their last one in particular, falling closer into the pattern that is Echo Fox with really crazy strategies as well as role swapping going on.
Yeah, I can see this Golden Guardians team. You can see from left to right, everyone has played a lot better. Lorlo, in particular, has had good performances, 8-0 game on Aatrox, the 1-0 game on Ornn. And one thing I want to point out about Echo Fox is they've employed a support substitute for one of their games, and they've role swapped a lot. But person on champion, they've had 15 uniques across all of these things. They've
no
played
player has
twice,
played the same champion
but
twice.
It's a different player in Aurelia. They've done Shen twice, but it's a different support on Shen. And they're the most refreshing team, I feel like, every day of LCS.
So it furthers the question of how do you attack a team like Echo Fox in the draft? Because it's one thing to say that the meta supports champions going in any role, any position, any player's hands. It's another when a team actually showcases that they're willing to do it.
It makes it so that you have to focus a lot more on what your team wants to do. And we've already heard a lot of people saying that's the general plan in the meta anyways because there's so much available. And Echo Fox is like if you distilled the meta down into its essence, that's like Echo Fox. So they are the purest form of craziness in the meta. And so when you're playing against that, figure out what's going to work really well for your team. That comp that Golden Guardians made probably works against a lot of teams because you have good late-game insurance policies, 2 damage types, and 3 tanks. Yeah, let me run that against most team comps in the world.
Right, so while it's hard to pinpoint for Echo Fox what they might be willing to try or pull out here on the day, you're saying that for Golden Guardians, they have to some degree found a method or a system that works and to kind of stick to their guns there as opposed to try and outthink their opponent in the draft phase.
Yeah, definitely should be a marksman player. In my opinion, it has been what everyone seems to be settling on, aside from Echo Fox and a few other teams. He played the Kai'Sa in the mid lane. You're still going to get a marksman in a composition that can be successful and definitely is very good at that. I think the trick will be getting Mickey on the right champion because Mickey's games on Lulu didn't look that hot, but his game on Yasuo actually looked pretty solid. And it's just about finding the right comfort, I think, for Golden Guardians.
All right, well, of course, Golden Guardians' first win in spring came week 4, day 2. They've already amounted 2 wins so far here in Summer Split. With that, the teams are entering Champion Select, so it's time to toss it out to the Battle Arena for the call.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's see how these two go at it here in this final game of week 2. Both sitting on 2-1. Somebody gets to ascend to the plateau of 3-1. Somebody gets to hang out in 2-2 town. It's not that bad of a place to live. It's all right.
It's all right, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent, but it'd be a lot nicer being up at 3-1. And Golden Guardians, for the first time in franchise history, are above 500. They would certainly love to stay with this winning record and kind of continue that success.
And not just a winning record, but a winning record where the 3 teams you knock out back to back to back would be Liquid, Cloud9, and Echo Fox. That's the way you make a statement in the first couple of weeks, but they will have to win this game to make that statement in truth. Let's take a look at the bans. For Echo Fox, it's Shen, Tom Kench, and Zoe. Golden Guardians removing Nocturne, Irelia, and Talia from the pool.
Yeah, very, very interesting to see so much focus on those kind of support bans, perhaps trying to take away a lot of the tank supports that Matt may want to play. He did play Alistar as well as Rakan so far, so it certainly is going to have other options. But if you want to go for the Braum, if you want to go for something maybe more pick reliant and split push and these sorts of styles, then banning away Shen support, banning away Tom Kench support, I think can be a pretty strong option.
And remember that Echo Fox is all over the place with their lane assignments in their games so far. Huni has yet to go top lane, and with a lock-in like Braum, you enable a lot of potential strategies with a super champion or with a lane swap or something else. So I'm really going to be keeping my eyes on how the rest of their side of the draft in particular goes as Golden Guardians pick up one of those champions that can go Super Saiyan mode in the Kai'Sa.
Exactly. You take away that potential funnel from that Kai'Sa. We did see a Super Lucian earlier today. I have seen things like, well, obviously we saw the Irelia before, but I've seen Yasuo, I've seen Graves, I've seen a lot of different strategies around that. But Braum first pick is also just a really good support. So it can be a completely normal draft that they are going to be looking for. And I think so far it does make a lot of sense on the side of Golden Guardians. Pick away the Kai'Sa, grab Swain. Swain, could be going bot potentially. It could be, doing another role swap, and you have the Super Kai'Sa again. We saw yesterday Mickey played Yasuo bot, and it was definitely on, mid kind of funneled Kai'Sa. This is looking like it is potentially a bot lane Yasuo, because otherwise, blind pick Yasuo doesn't make that much sense unless you're going to try to just move this around and answer the Swain, because it can be a pretty good matchup into Swain. And if you're saying, I'll just put Yasuo wherever Swain is, then that's something that Echo Fox is capable of doing and could get you a pretty good matchup.
I mean, they've already shown that kind of fluidity and flexibility in their drafts before, so definitely going to keep both those options online as something that could be the outcome here. Graves also locked in on the side of Echo Fox. Pretty certain that one's going into the jungle. It's Echo Fox, so I'm not putting my cards on the table saying 100%.
Support Graves.
But we're going to go ahead and say most likely putting that one there in the jungle. Golden Guardians picking up the Xin Zhao for themselves. That's going in the jungle.
It could still be a funnel though, right? You're always going to be wondering, what is Echo Fox doing? If you're Golden Guardians, you have to be thinking, okay, well, what is most likely? And then what is the next most likely? What is after that? Because it could very easily be, oh yeah, it's Braum support, it's going to be Yasuo mid or top, and you're going to have Graves jungle. But it could also be Braum mid funneling a Graves with a Yasuo bot. You draft something like an Alistar to set him up even better, and you look for those sorts of strategies. We'll see if Golden Guardians wants to ban out Alistar, if they are actually perhaps worried about that, or maybe even just take it away for themselves, because anytime you see a Yasuo, you are looking for a lot of setup for that ultimate. And yes, Braum does have some setup with the ultimate himself, but isn't the strongest. The Mundo ban also, to me, does say, hey, they think Altec might be playing top, because that is the top laner that Altec did play earlier and did kind of facilitate moving Huni to bot.
And when your team is already 2 magic damage heavy champions plus Xin Zhao, Mundo's really good against that.
Yeah.
So banning away the Mundo, I can't fault them for that. When you can see the Golden Guardians were also thinking about the Alistar themselves now as we get into these last couple of picks. They're juggling around with a few different supports, the theme of which seems to be engage, and they settle on Rakan.
Yeah, gonna go with Rakan. That does mean there's a potential for Fung to pick up that Alistar if they wanted to go Alistar Yasuo bot and do a funnel. But again, it could just be a Braum bottom, and this really is, I think, the hardest team to draft against in the league, because Echo Fox could be doing anything. Their players could be swapping roles, their players can be swapping champions, they can be doing so much different crazy stuff.
And this doesn't tell us anything.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Could be Vladimir bot, could be mid,
marks.
could even be top. You really still don't know. And even with their last pick, you don't always really get a lot of answers. You're gonna know more. Okay, so if it is Galio, I'm expecting it to be Galio mid. I am expecting it to be, Braum support. And then it's probably a Yasuo top for Huni. But you could flex, right? You could go Vladimir AD carry. You could go Yasuo in kind of bot lane role. So there is still a lot of potential to flex around, and it makes it so hard for Golden Guardians, because how do you counterpick? Great, you have your last pick for Lorlo, but you could be going up against the Vladimir or the Yasuo. So Camille makes quite a bit of sense. I think it is just a really strong champion in the meta, one of the highest presence in pro play, for good reason, because it has a lot of really strong laning, does have good scaling. You can team fight pretty well with X-Tech Ultimatum, so we will see where everything is going to go. I'm thinking it is Vladimir in the bottom lane for Altec, and then Huni going to play the Yasuo into the Camille, and that would be a very explosive matchup.
This will also be the first time in Summer Split that Huni has played top.
He's got to check the box. He's got to play it at least once.
You got to get it in there. You got to make sure that you're playing each role at some point throughout the split. He's like, all right, we'll just get this boring stuff out of the way early. That way we have 7 more weeks of fun.
I mean, that would basically put him at 4, right? Because he essentially played the Aurelia mid funnel. Well, it depends if you want to qualify that as a mid or a jungle.
I already argued with Kobe about this for 15 minutes earlier. We can't get into this one.
Well, it's one or the other, whatever.
Okay, it's one.
Potentially, it could be mid lane. The Taliyah was definitely jungle. He played Yasuo bot, so he at least has 3 now with a top lane game. Maybe 4, depending on your opinion.
3.5, rounds up to
3.5. We'll give him 3.5.
All right. 3.5 out of 5. Not a bad score. Not a bad score at all, but we'll see if it's a good enough score to take down the Golden Guardians here. Rise up to 3-1 overall in the standings. Echo Fox has definitely been one of the teams that's shaken things up the most with this meta, with this volatility that we've entered into, the state of the game as it is. There were so many questions coming into summer of what kind of crazy stuff are we going to see? What's going to be the state of the game? And Echo Fox has just been that team that time and time again are like, no, we're not doing the boring thing. We're not going to do what you expect us to do. We're just going to continue trying to play these curveballs and keep everybody guessing.
And that's what I think is so cool about it. To my mind, the ideal meta is one in which you can do all of the styles, right?
Yep.
That it's completely viable to be a marksman only, totally standard, as you understand it, bottom lane team. That it's completely viable
like RNG does.
to do funnel strategies and Huni swapping around and do all these things. I think that is just really cool and very exciting that we're getting to see some of this. It is a little bit concerning for Echo Fox, though, that Altec definitely did not look comfortable on the Vladimir yesterday. He's another one of those bot laners who has not looked as good on some of the off-meta stuff. He actually was good on Mundo Top. He was good when he had his Lucian game, but his Vladimir game yesterday was a bit of a struggle, and we'll see how he's going to perform on that pick today.
And one thing about it, Azale, he's up against a Kai'Sa. And if there's anything we've learned about Kai'Sa over the last couple of weeks, it's that if you give her room to breathe, she can take over the game very, very quickly. So Altec's going to need to make sure that he keeps that under control to the best of his ability, whatever that ability may be, on this new archetype of champion.
Yeah, and definitely at the same time is going to have to be very careful about all the potential dive that comes out of this team.
Yes.
When you're looking at Vladimir flying in and throwing down that ultimate, and Huni diving in with the Galio ulting on top, you have Braum ultimate being layered over, you have backline access from the Graves ultimate, that is pretty terrifying. And he is going to have to make sure that he really does play these fights out well. But at the same time, when you have a team like Echo Fox is running, if you start to fall behind, a Swain can be such a nightmare. Like a fed Swain just walking forward into your team, into ultimate. If you do not have the damage potential to burst him out, that becomes a nightmare.
And when I'm looking at these two compositions, Azale, and I'm looking at, all right, who gets to pull the trigger? Who gets to be the team that decides when we're fighting? The engage potential on Golden Guardians, you can go in with Camille. You can go in with Rakan. You have a couple really good engage tools. But over on the side of Echo Fox, you practically have to get a flank, or Vlad just presses a bunch of speed item buttons and tries to run in and Galio ults on top of him. The engage is much less reliable for Echo Fox.
Yeah, I definitely agree. At times, it could look very potent, but yeah, there's not as much of an easy go button, right? You know, you're looking for a Braum ulti or as you said, the flanks and those sorts of plays. So we'll see if they're able to find it, but there is also potential with this sort of style of play that it never even really comes to the team fights, because if you can get Huni ahead, if they're focusing up topside and using Galio to snowball that lane, that can get difficult. And Huni very intelligently is honestly just hiding out in a brush. And had he actually shown there, well, Contracts probably could have just killed him for first blood, but he backed off into the bush. They didn't even know if he was still there. So instead, it is just going to be... Did he just level up off the ward? I think he did.
May have, and now he's level 3. However, the Smite Secure is there from Contracts, who's now going to force the fight. Has Vision of Empire to help himself out. Flash away from Dardoch, dashing back over the wall. Very clean execution. Will likely now spell the end of Contracts, but he goes down as well. Both junglers out of the picture. Huni now trying to make the fight happen. I don't know if he gets out of this one. I don't think so. It's a double kill for the Golden Guardians top lane.
Yeah, that smite was so critical for Contracts hitting level 3, and I'm not sure if Dardoch quite had his smite back up. It was very, very close on if it was up or not as he went to that blue buff, but he got level 3 off the ward, and if he got the blue buff, it would have been a level 3 versus level 2 fight. He likely would have won, but Xin gets level 3, gets the third skill, wins that duel, and it's Lorlo who comes over to pick this up. So here it is one more time. Dardoch just needed that last ward, does get it. The replay shows his smite is up, but that it's not always accurate, so I'm not positive if it was or not. Either way, the smite goes the way of Contracts, and then Dardoch is in big trouble. Nice Vision of Empire there to add in the additional damage, and watch Lorlo here over the wall. He sees him on the ward, flash, gets that sweep to take out a 1 kill, picks up the red buff, takes down Huni as well. That's double buffs on the Camille, first blood, 2 kills, and that is going to make it so much more difficult now for Huni.
Phoenix realized that fight was not going to go their way in the 2 versus 2. Had to cut his losses and run, but leaving Huni to be that second kill, like you say, Lorlo's in a spot where he's feeling really good right now, and Dardoch sitting on level 4, just hanging out on the side of the lane here, won't really find much success or anything waiting on him. Does want to wait on this TP, see if maybe they can set something up.
Though.
It's going to be a full-on 2 versus 2. Dardoch shows up. Here comes your chain CC. More damage coming in. End of the line going to take Mickey very low. Contract still going to find the kill onto Dardoch. Vision of Empire comes through, and Contract with a spear to the back takes down his opponent. Dardoch in the ground for the second time in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about how would that have gone if Dardoch actually committed forward onto Mickey, because Mickey did get very low. He was down to about 20-30% HP with Dardoch hiding away, and could they have gone forward and actually gotten that kill is hard to say, but either way, it is Contracts picking up the kill. He was in position for the potential counter gank, and now they're looking for a dive on Huni. If you get this dive with the mini wave at his turret, he's going to fall very far behind in experience, and could be lights out for Huni in the 1v1.
Here we go. Lorlo and Contracts, they got to execute this one right. Huni trying to dash himself away, make sure he can avoid as much of this as possible, but the stun comes down, the damage comes out, and Huni goes home the hard way. That is a lot of EXP he will be losing from this minion wave crashing.
Exactly. I mean, the Tiamat is available for Lorlo. There's no TP on Huni, so that second death is so painful. And again, really smart play from Contracts. He has been at the right place at the right time. He is already waiting, and this is what I'm talking about. I wonder, could they have gone forward with how low Mickey got? You know, maybe if that's a dash forward from Dardoch, you at least trade a kill, but it's hard to say because maybe that means Phoenix is all in and then dies as well. Either way, it is the 1 for 0 for Golden Guardians, and credit to Contracts for getting the jungle advantage and being in the right spot.
Contracts 1, 1, and 3 so far in this game was the noble sacrifice during the one time his team gave up a kill and has been a part of all 4 of the kills they've received for themselves. 4 kills in 6 minutes.
A lot.
Golden Guardians is putting in a lot of work, and it's all coming from this early Xin Zhao play. Contracts doing a great job on this pick that whenever you see it locked in, this is what you want to see from the pick.
Yeah, it becomes so difficult actually to fight against a Xin who gets so far ahead. I mean, it's one of the most binary champions in the game. If he is ahead, he just kind of runs you down with the phase rush. If he's behind, he doesn't really do much.
Huni trying to fight against Lorlo here, goes into the last
nothing.
breath, and yeah, it did a whole lot of nothing. Lorlo just kind of walks away, says, all right, I'm going to wait for your sword to power down and your minion wave to go away, and we're just going to keep farming it out.
Yeah, and that's the adaptive defenses, plus a relatively early tanky build here from Lorlo. He's Doran Shield, Ruby Crystal, Cloth Armor, and you get that passive for the physical damage shield, and all of a sudden you take very little damage, and Contracts is here again.
And all of a sudden, you don't win versus a jungler that's this far ahead. Contracts takes him down very easily, and now he says, hey, I got another one right in my sights. Has to back away from the Graves a little bit, decides to go right back into the fight. They've got the Swain there as well, but the fight has quickly turned the other way. The burst is strong from Echo Fox.
No mana.
Mickey trying to buy some time, very low on mana, nearly kills both, instead kills none until he gets that last auto attack. It's gonna be a 1-for-1 there, but Lorlo cleans up the end.
Lorlo, the beneficiary again, gets to come on. He's like, yeah, I'll take that red buff. Thank you.
Lorlo's
Thank you
the
for that.
janitor this game.
Yeah,
Mop and
4
bucket at the end of the
kills
fight.
on Lorlo now is just ridiculous. He's 20 CS up, 4 kills to 1 over Huni, has the red buff for the second time this game at before 8 minutes. That is horrible for Huni to try to lane against.
Absolutely awesome start here for the Golden Guardians. 2,500 gold up, 8 minutes into the game. Again, they were in a little bit of a sketchy spot there for a moment. Let's see how this whole thing played out one more time.
Contracts, right place, right time once again. And this would have been a slaughter, but bot lane.
Bottom side, speaking of slaughters, definitely is out of there. The Hemo Plague is going to tick down, nearly gets rid of him, survives an extra second. Matt tries to get himself out, should be just fine here, down to 200 HP, but Alltech and Fung doing a good job in that 2 versus 2. Huni now collapsing onto Contracts, who flashes over the wall. Huni goes after him. That's very aggressive. Quickly going to turn into a 3 versus 2, though, as Phoenix is quicker on the rotation, and Lorlo gets shut down.
Yeah, finally the collapse coming in faster there from Equifox. They're the ones able to punish, and they win on the other side of the map, so that is going to buy them some time. The shutdown guild is going to be pretty big going over there to Dardoch, and some good things happening now here for Equifox.
Talked about Contracts being in the right place at the right time, but sometimes even if you're in the right place, if your team can't get there to follow up, it's not the right call.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you have to always respect the Galio and how fast he can come. But here's the all-in one more time. You can see the Empower Transfusion is ready right as that channels. That was a great all-in. That was honestly perfectly done. And this is something where you have to respect. Anytime you see that big red bar is about to charge up from Vladimir, you essentially need to back off. They time the Braum ultimate with that. The E goes in, the flash, the ignite, everything piled in. They get that kill, and here it is one more time. Contract's trying to counter jungle, but there's no vision. Your mid laner is not going to be able to roam faster than the Galio, who is already out there. The top laner is closer from the other side, and unfortunately for Lorlo, he's going to have to pay for the sins of his jungler.
If that was only a 2 versus 2, that would be great. They could have got out, they could have fought Huni. Yeah, Thing is, it's not a 2 versus 2, and so it ends up being Echo Fox with the better rotational play that finds themselves an edge. They're closing that gold gap. 2,500 just a minute ago, reduced to about half of that value now. Echo Fox doing everything they can to make sure that this Xin Zhao is not allowed to hit that point you were talking about, Azael, where he just runs away with the game and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and you have to remember that in this state of the game, shutdowns are even bigger, right? You know, get the big shutdown, it rewards so much individual gold, so that makes Darda a lot stronger, and the fact that Lolo died there, you know, is fairly costly for the Golden Guardians. He is definitely their strongest member. He is quite a bit ahead. And it's kind of now, when you have picked up all these kills, when you have gotten the double red buff, when you have gotten all these things, it's your responsibility to carry the team. He needs to make sure that he's going to be staying safe.
He pops the ult, realizing he's going to be in for a fight here. 1 versus 2 does land quite a lot of damage with the never move. Darda going to be taken low, has to flash away. Phoenix trying to get himself out of this one as well. Mickey wins the 1 versus 2 against these guys, nearly killing both.
Yeah, good early flash to kind of create some space and buy time for his ultimate to heal him up, and then hits a great never move there. Trade summoners, pushes him out, pressuring the turret. Now 3 men can move top and look to pressure Huni off the wave. Huni's gonna have to just give up all this farm because his jungler is bot, his mid laner just got pushed out. You can see Phoenix is trying to roam top, but that turret may just be gone straight up, and I think it is.
First turret going the way of
Ouch.
Golden Guardians, building that gold lead up even further yet again. Now, granted, there is first Drake going the way of Echo Fox. A Cloud Drake on their side will be a nice little bonus, but all the extra gold going into the pockets of Golden Guardians feels really good this early into the game.
It really does, and that's kind of off of the good play of Mickey there in the mid lane. Because he pushes them out, they get that advantage. He can roam top, force for that first turret. Their bottom lane is being pressured, right? So in a couple of minutes, Echo Fox likely would have knocked down this turret. Instead, they're able to beat them to the punch. They're now going to get the Rift Herald. They will lose a turret in trade, but still, Golden Guardians definitely going positive on the play. And it really does feel like the team has kind of turned over a new leaf. They are looking so much stronger, so much more coordinated this split than they really have at all in spring.
This does not look like the team that got 10th in spring split. This team seems so much more on the same page. They seem like they're making so much more of a coherent effort as a 5-man unit to make these plays, to find these advantages, and shore up the weaknesses they have. The perfect example is what you just mentioned with the bottom lane. Hey, we're about to lose our turret. Oh, okay, let's get topside first. Don't worry about it. We'll use what we got with Mickey. And that kind of teamwork, that kind of communication is what can take a team from 10th to who knows where.
Exactly, and it's one of those things where it felt like last split, all of Golden Guardians' wins were just off of X player got 10 kills, and then he was really big and they kind of won. And now it's nice to see that they are actually able to make some better map movements, to really be able to kind of be a bit more proactive, to get some advantages in other ways, because that is really something that is more reliable. Consistent macro play is more reliable than just getting random person fed who then carries the game. That's not a strategy you can often do, and here it is. Rift Herald going to be dropped mid. Nice move mid lane. They should be able to knock down 1 for free. They have Matt threatening a flank on the side. They're going to actually try to push for 2 turrets potentially here.
Contracts goes in. Eats a lot of damage on the way in, though. Doesn't really want to be on that front line any longer. They're just making sure Shelly gets a nice headbutt into that tier 2. Takes it down to just above half HP. But a nice call there from the Guardians to make sure they're able to take down that tier 1. And that in-the-moment shot calling is one thing I want to praise as well, because when we saw these guys get their win over Cloud9, the game-ending call where it looked like it was going to be a base race, but instead they say, no, 2 guys go back, Braum and Kai'Sa guard the minion in the game. That kind of quick decision-making, really impressive here as well. Altec and Fung going in for the 2 versus 2 underneath the enemy turret. Altec going to be stuck. Tries to get himself away, does manage to survive. They're bringing in the cavalry now. Echo Fox looking to make those plays. They go for the last breath, able to find the damage, able to find the burst. And it's 1 dead on the side of Golden Guardians. Hourglass going to buy an extra second for Mickey, who tries to get himself away, wants to use the second part of the ulti, but just won't get it. It's 2 down on the side of the Guardians, and Echo Fox ties this one up in kills.
The collapse there so fast from Echo Fox. Huni instantly TPing in, Galio roaming up, and Mickey honestly very late on this Swain ultimate. He didn't get it off until he was already so low on HP, and that is kind of that critical threshold, as I'm saying. You need to stay above that certain level of health that allows Swain to absorb all the damage and then continue the fight. He just barely wasn't able to do it, as we'll see this one more time. The stun coming out from Lorlo onto Altec. They want to try to burst him down instantly. Matt goes in, follows up the CC chain, but there is not quite enough damage. The pool goes down. And watch Mickey here. You want to just pop the ultimate, right away, but he's not able to get it out. The Galio knocks him up, taunts him, then into the Yasuo ultimate. And at this point, even with the stopwatch, he's already so low because he wasn't kind of draining throughout that. Had he had a couple hundred more health with an early ult when he right came in, he might have been able to make that fight look very different.
And just as we're praising Golden Guardians for playing well as a team and making coordinated plays together, it's Echo Fox that comes together with a 4-man play on the top side to bring this game right back to an even state. And this is what I like to see, Azael. Two teams, blow for blow, back and forth, keeping things even as we work our way towards the mid-game.
And you know Echo Fox is never going to go down without a fight. If they're going to lose, they're going to lose hard. If they're going to win, they're going to win hard.
Go down in a blaze of glory.
Exactly. They continue fighting. They will always come at you and look to outplay you. They have such mechanically talented players. And when you have Dardoch and Huni, these guys are just saying, well, I'm better than you. I'm going to outplay you in these fights. And that's what they are looking for. They're trusting in their individual skill to constantly get them these skirmish victories. And Huni going for the Blade of the Rune King build. Not sure if this is an adaptation or if a pre-planned thing because he was behind. And it is very, very effective as a one-item thing, you know, for dueling. And he may be going towards much more of a tanky build. You can see the Ruby Crystal there. We might be seeing kind of what Mickey did actually the other day with Blade of the Rune King, Sterix, Frozen Mallet, this kind of semi-tank bruiser Yasuo where you can run people down in side lanes and win these extended fights.
His opponent also finishing his Trinity Force just a couple moments ago. A big power spike there for Camille to enchant those true damage second proc of Q's and make it so she hits that much harder with the uppercut kick. You can see the Rod of Ages up to 5 stacks. Just now that number turned over from Mickey Swain, so getting that one stacked up so he's tankier in the middle of these fights. As Lorlo finds his opportunity to go on to Phoenix here. This is not a fight that Galio wants to find himself in. Look at the burst coming out from Lorlo's Camille. One more hit should do it, and there we go. 300 gold in the pocket.
Yeah, nicely done there from Lorlo, finding a kill on that Trinity Force spike that you pointed out. He is definitely still very strong, despite the fact that he did go down once and his team's been giving up some kills. Make no mistake about it, he still does have that side lane priority, and he is going to have to be someone for Golden Guardians that is creating pressure constantly, that is finding picks and drawing members for them to be able to win this game, because that is where all their gold really has gone.
Cloud Drake spawning now as both teams hang around it a little bit. You can see a lot of Echo Fox vision around that river. Just looking out for this as Mickey gets jumped on a little bit by Huni there, but nothing that he's too afraid of just yet. Goes for a little bit of damage with the Death's Hand, but Windwall is going to block that up, keep Huni topped off in terms of his health bar. Echo Fox still hovering around this Drake. They don't have the Scuttle Crab. That's going to provide vision for a couple more seconds there for Golden Guardians. Definitely will farm up his own Gromp, and it looks like nobody's willing to commit to that objective in the Drake just yet.
And not just yet. I don't really love the lane assignments here from Echo Fox. I feel like Galio really should be in the mid lane. You want Galio to be able to respond to either side and respond to either jungle. When you put him in the top lane, maybe they're just saying, hey, you have a better chance of stabilizing and wave clearing against this fed Camille. But when you put him in the top lane, the only place he can respond to is your upper side jungle, maybe your mid lane, right? So his options are a lot more limited, and it makes it easier for the Golden Guardians to make plays on the opposite side of the map.
I want to re-hit a point that I mentioned earlier when we were talking about engages and how Golden Guardians have a better one and Fox's tools are a bit more limited. Fox has some awesome tools for backing up and disengaging, though, with the Galio ult, with the Braum ult, with Vlad being able to pull. And with these Cloud Drakes going under their belt, they have more kite ability as well, more movement speed. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on how well that pays off for them, because Dardoch's now been able to just sneak away these two Drakes back to back and build up that advantage for his team, which honestly is probably going to amount to more than you'd think in a game that's already this close.
Yeah, I mean, the movement speed, especially since it works in combat now too, is very, very valuable. If you can split up the game, put it in these little skirmishes, it's going to be pretty interesting. Worth noting that there's a phage on Huni, so I'm not sure if that is just kind of like a casual additional Ruby Crystal for health, or if he's actually going towards Black Cleaver, because I don't think Black Cleaver makes really much sense at all for the Yasuo in this game, because there's not really even any armor stackers. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go for a Triforce, that is kind of more of an old school build that people used to go for, and I think that is more powerful because you still have the attack speed in there. You still have the Sheen proc, can be pretty valuable, but would be pretty surprised to see a Black Cleaver coming out from Huni. But again, it could be, hey, he just has that extra Ruby Crystal for something like a Sterix later on. Maybe wants the phage for now, for the move speed proc. We'll see where he's going to go, but it is something that's certainly atypical.
Pretty sure Yasuo E is on a 0.1 second cooldown at the final levels.
Based on your attack speed, yeah, and the Q as well, right?
No, yeah, the Q is attack speed. I'm pretty sure the E is an actual cooldown, though. So it would go down to 0.08. .02 could be very big as Echo Fox now look to find their fight here. Contract's going to be taken low, still keeping himself alive, utilizing the awareness. Alltech has the pool, looking to find the damage. Mickey grabbing the kill onto Fung. Alltech still trying to stay alive. Echo Fox 4 men strong. Mickey going to be going into the zone. He's right in the middle of all four. Lorlo still looking to find some damage here on the side. Definitely wanting to come in as well with the supercharge, and Mickey will just not die. Alltech will, though, as Hoonie has to head for the hills, and Echo Fox bite off way more than they can chew. Dardoch wants out of this one, but he's still going to be slowed down. Red Smite down onto the top laner. Lorlo's having to fall back. Never Move going to be expertly sidestepped, but Vision of Empire will not. Lorlo does not know the meaning of retreat. He gets a big old bucket of chicken to the face for his efforts, and Mickey still tries to run down this Galio. Dardoch coming up there to make sure his mid laner stays safe, and that was a bloodbath.
That was so critical for Echo Fox that Phoenix and Dardoch are able to escape. If Dardoch dies there, there's potential to just go straight to the Baron with this Rage Blade Kaisa and actually rush down a Baron, but is able to dip and dodge and stay alive for so long. Here's the initial play once more. Fung starts it off, right onto Contracts, focusing down this Xin Zhao, who does back up quite a bit, but Alltech on the side, catching him with his ultimate, catching Matt as well, knocking down two members there very, very quickly. But then Mickey, early ult this time, that is critical. Before he gets CC'd, he is pre-ulted, he heals right back up to full during that Zhonya's, and is able to get a big R2, putting out a lot of damage, definitely able to rejoin the fight. A lot of the damage dealers here were alive, but this was so critical. Dardoch flashing that hook shot there, and then Mickey, nice sidestep from them, dodging out on the Never Move. If that catches Dardoch, could be Baron. Instead, they trade back a kill. They both get out alive. Nice little individual outplays there from Dardoch and Phoenix.
What a mess of a fight that ends up with damage numbers like these. 4,000 damage from the Vladimir, nearly 5,000 from the Swain. Everybody putting in work this time around as Lorlo gets jumped on by Hoonie for a second, but with Contracts right there, Hoonie's not exactly looking to take this any further just yet. Dardoch also going to be shadowing his bottom lane. Black Cleaver completed for him, and it looks like with Hoonie's itemization, we will not be seeing the Black Cleaver. He has the Phage to give him the extra move speed and chaseability. Now looking to go here, 1 versus 1 up
nice
Lorlo. Takes a lot of damage, though, dodging away from the knockup. Expert use of the Hextech Ultimatum.
Yeah, that was slick there from Lorlo. Dodging that out, avoiding the potential follow-up ultimate, which would have given Dardoch time to close and maybe gotten a kill there. But yeah, sitting on the Phage for the additional move speed. It is a very, very nice item to have, and working potentially towards Asterix next. Could also go the way of a Frozen Mallet if he feels that he can just win the straight-up fight. Frozen Mallet does become very, very powerful, as you can just kind of endlessly chase people down, dashing through the minions, applying the slows over and over.
But of course, you do have to win the 1v1 for that to really matter. And
Slowing
right
them
now,
doesn't matter when they're stronger.
Yeah, if Camille just stands there and says, all right, I'm slow, I'm going to kill you.
Yep.
That's not really where you need to be. So once he gets to that point, then I'll see the value in the pick.
Yeah, but you also have to always consider, hey, he has a Galio on his team, and it doesn't have to be a fair fight, right? You can call in your mid laner, slow him down, hold him in place for the Graves, or that. Hoonie.
Lorlo doesn't connect his hook shot to the wall, so he's going to have to make this fight happen without the stun. Now he's thrown up into the air, and Lorlo's in a lot of trouble. Gets taken down. Phoenix grabbing the kill on that one, as now it's a very uneven fight. It's 2 for 0 for Echo Fox, and Mickey, he's strong, but he is not strong enough for a 1 versus 4. Matt wants to come in over the wall, but isn't even going to be enough. I think he just turned away on this one. Demon Flare popped off, just trying to get himself out of this one now. Mickey still on the run. Matt hobbling off to the side. Mickey will live. Gets underneath the tier 2 turret, but Matt hang around just a little too long. Did not want to be a part of this one. Has to use the quickness to get himself out. Dashes away to Deathly for safety. Woo!
Nicely done there on the escape from Mickey. Barely able to get out, but Hoonie winning the 1v1. Yes, people came in, but you know, some misplays there from Lorlo. Didn't have the Hextech Ultimatum to actually use. Missed the hook shot as well. I'm not sure if that was actually wind-walled by Hoonie. I didn't quite catch the full interaction, but Echo Fox do win out because that skirmish was going in the favor of Hoonie. They get the initial kills. They're going to get the Infernal. 3rd straight Dragon for them, and it's not a Baron because multiple members of Golden Guardians got away, but it is a very important fight. And here it is once more. Yeah, just actually too far away. Lorlo just straight up shot the hook shot from too far away, and missing that hook shot gives Hoonie the opportunity to just straight up win the fight. So big deal there. The mechanical misplay from Lorlo costing them a lot, meaning Hoonie is alive, he goes down, and Mickey in full retreat does survive. thanks to how tanky he is, with all of this drain, with the Demon Flare pushing them back, and even that Phase Rush helping out quite a lot.
And the Xin Zhao that was doing so good early on in the game, now up to 4 deaths. The thing about this champion is the way you build him. It's a Chad build. It's a warrior into a Trinity Force, and it's really good at fighting other people in small skirmishes, but if you're the target of multiple opponents at the same time, you just melt.
Exactly, and it's one of those things where when you're playing against a Galio and a Braum and all these guys who can lock you up, they're just going to focus you when you go in, right? Great, you have this sweet ranged ultimate that you can spin around and no one can shoot you from outside. Well, no one wants to shoot you from outside. They're in there with you. So, it doesn't end up getting a lot of value, and that's where a lot of his survivability comes from, is fighting against those traditional marksmen where you can dive onto someone and you're kind of knocking away all their bullets flying at you. But in this case, Echo Fox is just going to turn on the Xin and burst him down in most of these fights.
Mickey, just getting back to base in time as Fung walks up, throws a ward into the brush, and with 25 minutes on the clock, that means Baron is on everybody's minds in a game that's not even 1,000 gold apart. Proper setup, proper execution, and a solid pick anywhere around the Baron pit could lead to an attempt from either one of these teams. Both of them very, very aware of that fact. And the Vision Dance will likely begin in earnest here soon. Huni going in, able to get the last breath onto Lorlo immediately. And Lorlo makes sure he gets the stun this time, but is it going to be enough? Here comes reinforcements from both sides. It's definitely showing up. Gonna be taunted up, juggled around, thrown down, has to get himself away, fires off the Void Seeker, looking to snipe down Huni. Both sides gonna have members limping away from this one.
Phoenix really flexing his muscle there. A lot of AP already built up. This is not a tank into or AP into tank. This is just full straight up AP. Echo Fox will knock down the mid lane turret, but that was Phoenix also almost just zeroing out Deathly in that fight.
And as Deathly killer instincts into the fight, he gets caught in Phoenix's knockup instantly. So it couldn't have been better timing there for Echo Fox, as now Golden Guardians find themselves in the back foot a little bit.
And that's one of those funny things about the killer instinct from Kai'Sa. It looks as though it is actually a teleport, but it is not unstoppable. It is actually an ultra high speed dash, essentially. So if you are going forward, you can get caught by a binding, you can get taunted, you can get hit by any sort of CC if it is timed perfectly.
And that time around, it was exactly where it needed to be for Echo Fox. Now they've also got the Oblivion Orb on not only their Vladimir, but also their Galio. So extra magic penetration for these guys. And if you look at the MR on the side of Golden Guardians, Azale, I would say if you look at the MR, but it doesn't exist.
You look at the one pair of Mertreads.
If you look at the pair of shoes on Swain's feet, you'll see the entirety of the MR amassed by the Golden Guardians roster. So that impen is going to go a long way for multiplying the AoE potential of these two.
And Vladimir is at an absurdly strong point. He's on Death Cap, he has Spellbinders stacked up to a 100, so that is 80 bonus AP plus the 50% decaying move speed. So if you have a fight around Baron, double Spell Pen, Death Cap Spellbinders, fully stacked, you can fly in and put out so much damage on that initial round of burst against this team. They're essentially dealing near true damage to. So if Golden Guardians groups up and there is the perfect Vladimir combo, that is game over. That is fight over.
That'll move into the Baron pit now. Clear out some wards for himself. Wants to just try to prevent any attempts Echo Fox might have, any of those crazy thoughts about maybe prepping for Baron anytime soon. Next break will be that third cloud spawning just under 2 minutes now as Dardoch sees the opportunity to jump in. Takes off half of Contrax's HP in the blink of an eye. As definitely has to get himself away from this attack. Here we go, your charm, your initiation, the quickness is out. Mickey looking to find his way into the middle of multiple people, but Matt's already down out of the fight. You're looking at Ultimate coming around from the side. Wants to use the Spellbinder, there's your speed, there's your damage. He will flag out, Contract's down. Lorlo's on the run, but can he escape this much longer? Mickey has to flash up the wall, definitely looking to return some damage, but what can you do when you're this far outmatched already in the fight? As Lorlo and Deathly will both walk away, but Echo Fox is still 5 men strong. They don't care about the tier 2. It's time for Baron.
They're going to move straight to the Baron, and now 3 members of Golden Guardians are alive, but without the cooldowns to really fight for this, there's very little hope of being able to make something happen here. They're going to try anyway. It's a Swain TPing in without ultimate, though, and they can just turn.
Mickey gets knocked up into the air. Perfectly timed tornado comes out from Huni. Mickey will just buy a couple of extra seconds, but that is all he'll be able to buy as he goes back to the spawn platform for the next 45 seconds. Echo Fox not on Baron any longer, though.
Yeah, he did buy enough time, at least thankfully for him, because they decided to make the turn. He had the Zhonya's available that buys some time to stop the Baron from happening. So while he does TP in just to die, I would still say it is worth in the context that they prevent that massive neutral objective from going down.
Very fair point. It sucks to lose your summoner spell and your life for that, but it's a very important prevention. One more look here.
And look at this, Altec, he's stacking up his power Q, he's running around from the outside, and he is ready to go in. We talked about the fully stacked Spellbinder. There it gets popped, flash in, Contract's gone immediately. So much damage coming out from this Vladimir, and it is full retreat from that Golden Guardians team as they almost get Deathly as well. Killer Instinct just barely kind of protecting him enough to keep him alive, and Echo Fox is moving right back to the Baron. They have the vision control. They're trying to force Golden Guardians to check into them, and Lorlo is pushing bot because he has TP advantage.
That's a Spellbinder enchanted Vlad boner right there. That's the kind of damage you were talking about with that item having all those stacks. He's almost back up to 100 here again as Echo Fox works their way onto the Baron. Contract's able to find the knock up here onto the Funk, taking him low. Damage coming out. Mickey going into that Transcendent form, trying to find a way into the Echo Fox lines. They're all still getting themselves away. And it looks like the disengage will be mostly successful. Funk's gonna be the sacrificial lamb. Golden Guardians could look for Baron.
Echo Fox actually botched this really hard. They're not able to find the pick. They lose their support. Lorlo didn't even TP. He's still pushing. He's gonna get a second turret here on the bottom lane for free, and Golden Guardians, the four-man squad, getting so much work done. As people show up bot, they can even threaten to start the Baron on their own, knowing that Fung is still down for 20 more seconds.
Pretty big snafu there for Echo Fox, who now find themselves down in gold after the cost of that misplay. Golden Guardians have to be feeling a little bit of relief after the way the game was looking there for a moment. They do head back towards the Baron pit, but the call feels a little too risky at this point in time. Mickey, no ultimate available on the Swain, but that's not going to stop this team from going in onto Phoenix. You already mentioned Zale, how he's full AP. That means he can be taken down if they can find their way on top of him fast enough. Lorlo is able to find that big Trinity Force proc, but Golden Guardians' health bars are looking pretty rough. The AoE is there. Lorlo needs one more hit on Huni, but he will not get it. It's a triple kill for Altec.
Altec flying in, getting so much damage done there as Huni barely is able to survive. Lorlo fully committed for it, flashing forward, trying to get the kill. He can't get it, and this should be an Echo Fox Baron.
Man, let's go back to the start of this game, talking about Altec. He looks better on Marksman or Mundo. It has to begin with an M for Altec to make it work, but not this time around. Yeah, Vladimir, the greatest champion in League of Legends, 8-1-2, having a fantastic performance this game.
Hey, he's just showing he had a bad game yesterday, but does not mean he can't play the champion. He has looked very good today. They won lane, got a 2v2 kill. His team fight performances have been on point, and he is certainly stepping up to a higher level. Here it is one more time. Golden Guardians want to get a pick. They know that Dardoch is up on the top side. They know that they're kind of spread out, and they're going in on Phoenix. The Phoenix is still pretty tanky, despite the fact that he is full AP. The W damage reduction, the Zonias to delay. They are fully committing onto him, and look at this turnaround from Huni. The last breath on 2. Lorlo decides to commit for the kill, seeing Altec coming in, flashes forward, barely not able to finish off Huni, and it's the triple kill for Altec, who is now monstrously big.
Now, if you just look at the gold state of the game, Zale, it looks pretty close. But when you consider all the other factors, when you consider 4 Drakes, when you consider Baron buff, Echo Fox now finds themselves in a pretty comfortable position. We'll see exactly how much they can get out of this Baron. They're still down 1 turret globally. They still have to deal with the fact that Golden Guardians are grouped up middle and ready to respond to whatever Echo Fox is thinking about doing here. Looks like it's a bottom lane tier 2 push as Golden Guardians all decide to back up.
Yeah, they're just running up really fast, gonna try to push this down. Golden Guardians will have to come back to base. It is 4 dragons, but only one of them really is a lot of combat kind of potential. So in a straight up 5v5, Golden Guardians still have a chance to win this, but it's gonna have to be a great engage from Matt, and we'll see if they're gonna be able to find it.
Echo Fox not wanting to overcommit on this one, playing it slow, playing it safe, taking down the inhib. Now they'll try to back themselves away again. It's going to be Fun, the one who's jumped on. That's still a Braum. That's still not the guy you need. The damage is there. And Echo Fox will completely obliterate the Golden Guardians lines. Surely that's the end of the game. Only one man left standing, and only for a moment. A triple kill for Dardoch. And that will be it. Echo Fox punches in the brakes on the Golden Guardians hype train. They bring themselves up to 3-1. They'll find the Nexus turrets, and they'll win 34 minutes in.
Golden Guardians trying to go all in on that engage onto Fung, but he has so much tankiness. He hits the Braum ultimate, knocking out multiple. Huni there to follow up, and Echo Fox clean up the team fight, battling back from such a rough early game. Huni was so far behind. Lorlo able to pick up so many early kills, but not really convert on it. He didn't extend his advantages. He wasn't able to win out in that 1v1 in the side lanes against Huni, and Echo Fox plays a pretty calm game from behind, battles back, and takes another win.
They battle back, they play the small skirmishes very well, the Galio coming in, interrupting the killer instinct from Deftly like we saw, the misplay from Lorlo, not landing the first part of the hook shot onto the wall that time that he fought Huni in bottom lane as well. There were a lot of small elements that added up into that global picture you mentioned of Echo Fox being able to play slow, play smart, and come back.
And that's what Echo Fox really is so good at. In general, playing these little fights out, these skirmishes where mechanics really do shine through, and they have some very, very strong players in these little battles, but Golden Guardians are here to play. This is a team sitting at 2-2, certainly looking a lot stronger in this split. They did take down TL NC9. They were close here against Echo Fox, but Echo Fox, again, is going to come out on top, and they're going to be sitting at the top of the standings with some other teams.
Echo Fox definitely putting on a good show here today, but for more on that win now, it's time to hand it over to Avali and Echo Fox's Crimson Reaper in the bottom lane.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Alltech after that successful Vladimir game. Congratulations on that win. We saw you head back to bot. We saw Huni head back to top. What can you tell me about Fox's flexibility in all of these role swaps?
I think it's just nice that everyone, can play like multiple champions, like even other lanes, and I think that like kind of makes, I guess, like teams that play against us they're like, we never know what they're gonna play, right? And I played Vladimir today, and my performance yesterday was kind of like, AD carries can't play Vladimir, but today I showed that I'm probably like the best Vlad that AD carries.
And laning today, we saw Feng make his first appearance for Echo Fox this weekend. What's it like playing with him, and what do you think of his performance?
I think Fang he's like an older figure, right? And he gives a lot of advice, and he's not afraid of criticism, which helps us and the team improve. And I think overall his performance has been really well.
Well, congratulations again on that game. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avali. Echo Fox with a big comeback victory over the Golden Guardians. We saw it 2.7K down at 8 minutes, and they fight back against a 4-0 Camille. Alltech, the man who was just on your screen, with a massive Vladimir performance in the bot lane to follow. Kind of a disappointing showing that he had yesterday on the same champion.
Definitely bouncing back, making everyone kind of see that there's a reason he played the Vladimir. There was one fight, he flubbed it horribly yesterday, and then had multiple good fights today where he went out and instantly deleted someone. But honestly, the game probably should not have gotten to that point based off how it opened up.
Yeah, I mean, live by the skirmish, die by the skirmish.
Yep.
And then eventually live by it is what Echo Fox did this game, because at the start, they engaged early. Dardoch didn't get the smite. It meant there were a couple level 3s in the river. And right there, you can see Lorlo making an amazing play, jumping, basically flashing over the wall, then hook-shotting back to get onto Huni. Gives him not only the double kill, but also the double buffs. And because of his flash, he got the first blood bonus. So you think, all right, Lorlo's going to run over the game, especially after they make this dive.
Yeah, this isn't like the end of it. There was also a kill in the mid lane that went in their favor as well. So it was the whole top side of the map was dominating. Yeah. Alltech and Feng did get a solo kill down the bot lane when they power spike at 6.
Yep.
With the electrocute Vladimir, that's what you're looking to do. So really well played by them. But that really shouldn't have been enough to stem all the bleeding that was happening up on the top side. That was really on Golden Guardians themselves for throwing away a lot of their leads.
Right, again, the 4-0 Camille versus the 1-kill Yasuo, even a CS advantage for Lorlo. And so, again, you paint that picture at 8 minutes into the game, most people tell you it's over, Golden Guardians are going to win it. But as you mentioned, chat, live by the skirmish, die by the skirmish, live again by the skirmish. That's exactly what Echo Fox did in this game. They found skirmish after skirmish and ultimately out-executed.
And it was slow and steady. The first couple skirmishes were not super clean wins, as you see, once again, Huni dying at the start of this one.
Yeah, and the big things is just about getting the shutdown gold. When you can get Graves some early shutdown gold, that was absolutely huge when he had been able to kill Lorlo. Up top right here, they just have more people in the spot. Look at the Kai'Sa and the Xin Zhao. Even though there's 5 people for Echo Fox up top lane, these are the type of number advantage things that Echo Fox is trying to generate. And you do have to throw criticism on Golden Guardian's side that when you have so many winning matchups like the Camille there, you shouldn't be having numbers disadvantages in those fights. But continue, Echo Fox found the crazy fights.
And this is where Alltech starts popping off. Now that the top side has kind of stabilized, he's able to get in behind all of them. They get multiple massive hemo plagues off and starts killing everybody. Really impressive performance out of him, and pretty disappointing on the side of Golden Guardians with the lead that they had to start.
Bloodiest game of the day didn't end there. I do want to take a look at one more replay. 29 minutes into the game. Mid lane team fight here.
Yeah, and this is part of Echo Fox's team composition when they combo Braum and Yasuo. Watch the Braum shield block everything. The Braum shield goes down, the wind wall comes up, right? So you actually can't get through it if you're Golden Guardians in that relatively tight corridor. That buys time for Alltech to spellbind around the outside, completely blow up contracts, and that was a big part of how Echo Fox fought. And then look again, Braum shield's back up. So hard for Golden Guardians to actually get through the team fights.
Now, despite that fight, they also then died again, and then Golden Guardians could have gone for Baron and instead opted to look for a pick in the mid lane that Alltech turned again for his team. So even after Echo Fox fought back, they still almost lost this game if Golden Guardians, just with their Kai'Sa damage, prioritized the Baron earlier on.
Yeah, but to your point, Chad, of the use of both the Braum wall and the Yasuo wall, you can see there 10.2k damage for the Kai'Sa. That's below the Xin Zhao on his own team. A lot of that because of his inability to get in or even push past those walls to put the damage forward.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. You also have to remember that Echo Fox is one of the best diving teams. So on top of not being able to do damage because of the walls,
Dying instantly.
he's also got to stay really far back or he's instantly dead.
Yep. All righty. Well, as we wrap up the weekend, let's check in with our over-unders from yesterday. First up, combined kills per minute across the entire weekend. The line was set at 0.7. The actual was 0.64. So just under that last game of the day, really helping to boost it. Prior to that last game, it was 0.6, so they moved the needle quite a bit in the context of 10 games.
Yeah, but luckily not enough. Everyone else slowed down quite a bit. If Echo Fox was in charge of the region, we'd basically be Vietnam.
Next up, average game time. The line was set at 32:30. The actual was way over at 36:46. My goodness, I mean, we talked about some of the competing factors coming into this week for both extending and shortening game times.
I mean, that game time is getting close to spring split.
It's scary large.
It got really long, actually. So banner removal is definitely part of that. I think the fact that so many people went back to marksman was part of that. I don't think it's going to stay that long. I think this is a little bit of an outlier, but who knows?
Right. There was a ton of comebacks today, actually. Counting the last game,
games,
there was about 4 comebacks
Right,
today.
we had the C9, 6K up, you know, and then lose, and then this one as well, so some very extended games. You talk about because possibly the number of marksmen being picked. That was, of course, our third and final over-under. The line was set at 12.5. The actual is 19, so again, way over. The region seeming to reach back for those marksmen following week one.
To be fair, some of those marksmen were not just in the bot lane.
Correct.
They did have a couple of the super comps come out, so you know, it's not like it was just standard bot lane 19 marksman picks, but still a lot more than it feels like.
Super
many other
Kai'Sa,
places.
Super Brahms, the like. Well, before we make our departure, let's take one more look at those predictions from earlier today. This one's going to be painful for you guys.
Look at this day.
Painful for us.
Thank goodness for Echo Fox scraping by there at the end. Jack goes to 1-4. The coin for the second time in the coin's history, 0-5. I officially disavow the coin.
Right? Like a lot of people would look at a 9-win, 11-loss record and say, Jack, why don't you just flip a coin? I'll tell you
why
why.
I don't flip a
because
coin.
I definitively defeated the coin today, Dash.
Don't let the coin distract you from the fact that Jat went
1-4. I mean, you only had 2 and 3. It's not that much better of a day.
No, don't let it. Look at this man.
Yeah, you are sitting at the even 500 though through 20 games mark. So out to an early lead, as of course Jat was the winner of the spring split predictions. How are you feeling just 2 weeks in?
I feel like this is a crazy season. I mean, last split we had like 3 or 4 4-0 teams at the end of week 2. There was C9, Echo Fox, TL. We have none.
Right.
Everyone has lost.
Felt more definitive last time around.
Yeah, I mean, like you can look at Echo Fox and say that they're maybe one of the best teams, but they also are so erratic in their games. It's hard to really throw your weight behind them.
All righty. Anything else to add here at the end of week 2, Jet? No, nothing. Speechless.
Get him out of here.
Get the camera off that man. All righty, let's. That's going to be it for here. That's going to be it for us here at the desk. So now it's time to hand it off to Freak, Zyrene, and Biofrost for NALCS tonight. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Mark and Jat. Welcome to NALCS tonight. I am Freak, joined by Zyrene and special guest CLG support Biofrost, CLG carry as well, I feel like. Overall, an outstanding player. So let's talk about the fact that it's been a very fun week of games. You guys picked up some wins yourself. As we wrap up the day, let's look at the standings overall and see how these teams have stood up. Echo Fox and Team Liquid had first place. I feel like I've seen this before in the spring split. Them doing very well in the regular season. CLG in a big tie for third place here as well. Cloud9 and FlyQuest at the bottom, which is maybe surprising to some, maybe not so much for others, but still kind of interesting to see a gigantic tie in the middle.
Yeah, I think this split already, we're seeing no teams have no wins. FlyQuest picked up their first one today. So there seems to be a lot of parity, but I think a decent amount of that is meta-based, and people still trying to figure out what's an optimal strategy for them, what fits their team. And I think it's still like kind of up in the air. So the teams that should be elite are having sometimes like not the strategy that they expect coming out of their opponent, and they're caught off guard a bit too.
How do you feel about this? Do you think these standings reflect what you've seen in practice? Are you surprised by much of it? What's going on for you?
Well, I'm pretty surprised how poorly C9 is doing, actually, because I thought that actually the change, they were playing pretty well. And I think Team Liquid is expected to be at the top along with Echo Fox. It's pretty similar, but I think people are just still figuring out the meta. It's so crazy.
Yeah, on the C9 thing, they went 0-2 this week, but they had massive leads in both of their games, right? They had the game where Golden Glue was like 2 levels above the funnel strat Kaisa, and then the game that they just had where they were really far ahead, and then Licorice was like split pushing, a few catches on him, Keith dying a bit too. It's like this team seems like they can get through the early mid game and have large leads, but I feel like they're kind of lacking that veteran shot calling from the team, like closing out the game and having everybody be on the same page, which isn't surprising considering they have rookies in terms of like Zazel doing a
I mean, think about it. Every single person on the C9 roster joined this year.
Yep.
Every single player is new to C9 at this point here. So, you know, yes, of course, Sven's played for a very long time and everything else, but it's still kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, I see the potential.
Yeah, the potential's there. I feel like you must, as all times. Just filling in the memes, of course, that one. So anyway, more to talk about, though. Last week, Huni posted his time to the Scion Speedway, a new addition to NALCS tonight. If you missed it, we'll talk about this again. Every week, we're going to put our pros on the Scion Speedway and time their run around a custom racetrack and post their times on the leaderboard. Thankfully, I am not in last place anymore. Thank you to Mark Z for being the worst. We've had a couple more additions you can see to this roster. Of course, Huni still reigns supreme by over a second over Dash. Fitting, by the way, Dash is a fast one here as well. Now, for those who missed it, of course, players ult straight down the straightaways. You drift around hairpin turns, you avoid bumping into the walls. All kinds of fun stuff here as you can watch one of our producers do a very bad job of that, and that's all fine. Of course, you can't flash over the walls. You can only use your active items and summoner spells once. And now we're going to have Biofrost take his time as well. So Biofrost, if you are ready, we all believe in you to be better than Mark.
I think I actually might be worse than Mark.
No, I
You just have to get better than Mark. That's it. 53 seconds.
Okay.
All right, he's going to make his way over to the best friend testing station. And I do believe, I mean, Sion's been a support before. You've played it at least once.
Has he? Though?
Yeah, I've been playing it so much, actually.
See, now I want to see like if he does it with Bard or something, it just go through all the walls. I bet
Yeah,
he'd be
that's
good at
definitely
that.
not how this game's supposed to work. All right, you're ready to unpause when you feel like it, and we will get you going on this one. Zyrene, it's time to shoutcast this.
All right, let's see what he's picked up first, because there's so many different items you can go with. You get to use all of your actives one time. That's it. Flash once, ghost once, and immediately he's off. And it looks like he's got 2 spellbinders.
Dripping on the bottom side towards the wall. Gets through the base gate. Beautiful right
Goes
there.
up. Yeah, that's
the
really
first
good.
redirection. Pops one of the actives for move speed as well. Drifts around the bottom jungle.
Ooh, that one's always really tough.
Okay, we've
It's okay.
All right, that's fine. And again, you cannot flash this wall. It's against the rules, so you do have to walk around. I thought of that initially, and I was like, no, you can't do that.
Can't do that.
Yep, okay, decent speed through that bottom corner, though, and now through the mid part. How far can you go? Now, there's dummies here.
He's going to get into the dummies. Oh!
That's okay. Get through one of them, and then yeah, get around to start the next drift.
Okay, still has flash.
Pretty much
There
he's
you
still
go.
better than Mark, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he just needs to get better than Mark. That's it.
All right.
Got 13
All right.
seconds. It's okay.
This is not how my run went, actually. This is going to be like a free
Wait, better than Mark? Better than Mark?
Oh, 49! 50!
Better
51! Better than Mark! We'll get the fraction of a second in for that one later. I believe I'm above Biofrost, but he's above Mark. That's the important thing. I think him and Avali will be the close ones together in this one. So come on back when you're ready, I do believe. Not last place.
Not
all that really matters.
That's really what matters at the end of the day. The question is, it was better than Mark. Was it better than Avali's?
I think it's the close one.
Second
That's the
to
close
last.
one. We'll get the fractions later on. Thank you.
Now I want to see Mark's run, because you hit like every wall.
I think I even cheated. I think I pressed inactive twice.
Did you press your Predator at all in that? I think you might have canceled your Predator at some point, too.
Yeah, you're
So-
right. 51:53 was the time, but you were right. You had an active a second time, so 52:53 is the official time, which is still better than Mark. With a 1-second penalty, still better than Mark. And it would have been tied with Offley, basically. You were 0.3 off on the stopwatch time.
God, that is awful.
I feel okay being like 50 and a half, where it's like, all right, yeah, you know, I'm middle of the pack. A couple people.
I mean, granted, you did have a little less time than everybody else to practice. I mean, some people got like 10, 15 minutes. Some people have been like theory crafting it for a bit.
I think 2 or 3 practice runs and then did mine live.
It's just support player mechanics, honestly.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
All right, well, our next segment here is going to be called Filling in the Blank. And basically, we're going to need chat to chime in on this one. During the first and fourth questions, we'll be listening to you and what you want to answer this one. But what we did is we scraped together some of the Reddit post-game threads, and we found some reasonably juicy comments to review, but we stripped the player name, and it's time for you at home and our guests here to guess who we thought Reddit was talking about. It's going to be fun. So we're going to jump into our first comment right here from Belt Hat, and it says, Raid Boss Blank made an early appearance this season. Spam your guess, which we think it's going to be. Power of Evil, Golden Glue, Febiven, Darshan, or Someday.
Is this from the entire week for the end?
I do believe it's the whole weekend.
Ooh.
Who was called a raid boss in a Reddit thread?
I know.
You actually know? Did you read this thread?
No.
Okay. How do you know? Is it just Darshan? You're just like my teammate? I'm just for him?
No, I don't think it's Darshan.
No, I don't think it's Darshan. I don't think it's Golden Glue, but it could be. I don't think it's Febiven, so I'm like eliminating Darshan and Febiven.
Okay.
But Golden Glue, it could be.
Well, it's because they lost, though. It's like hard to pick
right?
C9, you know?
But like Power of Evil had a funnel strat towards him, and then Someday played the Aatrox and popped off. I'm actually going to say it's Someday.
So I'm actually okay with it being Aatrox, and it actually is Someday here for the first answer. Raid bosses are hard to kill. It takes the whole team to do so. Sometimes they revive in multiple phases. That feels like what Aatrox does. I cheated, actually saw the answer before, but I still wanted to make it everyone believe I was smart. But yeah, big stuff out of Someday. Honestly, pretty crazy. Cool stuff for him.
Yeah,
We
what
get
did
to
you
see a
think
highlight
it
reel.
I was wrong. I thought it was Power of Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I think it's a reasonable mess to make. And of course, as we buy some time, we will have the fan vote coming in at the end as well as we keep watching Someday be incredible. Won today as well, despite a very tough laning phase against Licorice. And as the votes come through, chat indeed was able to cheat and thought it was Someday.
Yeah, 100% able to cheat. How did nobody say Power of Evil? Maybe they're saying PoE? I don't know.
I can see that. It's hard to spell more than 6 letters at a time. And I mean, anyone who actually uses chat, maybe not. I don't know. Either way, next one up here, we're going to move on to our next comment. This one coming from Wind Eris. It says, Blank really wanting their starter spot. Damn. Greg wanted the starting spot. I was like, yeah, it's basically all the people coming in for this one. Who most impressed, basically, is what it comes down to. Who most impressed is the understudy.
I think it's Golden Glue.
Yeah, Golden Glue.
Golden Glue's a great answer for me as
Golden
well.
Glue is a really good answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Alorum and Grig, though.
No, it's too late. It's already the Glutes. It's the Glutes. Vault Boy himself. He's got a sequel coming in later this year. He's already saying that the original's the best already.
He was playing like a monster, though. This solo kill on Deathly, I actually had no idea Swain does that much damage. I did. I don't think Deathly did either.
No, I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, Golden Glue's actually insane. This guy's super impressed for a player who had been sort of called a choke artist for so long, had a lot of sort of rough games. He's like the most veteran of those players coming in, and he's like actually on another level this time around. I think it's really cool. All right, next one up, we've got our third question. We're going to queue up this challenge. This one coming from Fragzor. WTF was that early game fight? Blank packed his bags, decided to try living it out in the wind among the wolves.
Biofrost?
Why am I in there?
Wait, let me think about Biofrost.
What did
for
you
one
screw up?
second.
Actually, I'm ready for what my answer is.
Oh, man. I actually don't know, because Huni goes towards, like, all fights. Bjergsen had some fights that got started by him.
Yeah, he ran into the wolves and just
Yeah.
like got his team killed. Like I'm very confident.
I think it's Soren. I think it's Soren.
You think it's
Soren
Soren?
Bjerg?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it probably is. It probably
Soren
is.
Bjerg, it is. It's him.
All right,
I looked
yeah.
at the next card.
Nice.
Yes, we did it.
Yeah,
Bifrost and I high five. You didn't see it, but it happened. I promise. I've now touched the living legend.
yeah, I thought this was this comment was saying that he was like running away from the fight, right? And just ditching his team. But
then
this
they
makes a
followed.
lot of sense. Bjergsen started like 2 fights that really put his team behind early.
Yeah, he had some good plays too on the Anivia, but some oopsie moments as well right there. And this was a very close game, honestly, between Clutch and TSM. The steals really helped. I think Brig had a pretty good day as well, but
And we're doing well on these. Like,
we got a few of them.
Combine our minds together, we can figure out Reddit.
It's scripted.
I mean, yeah, it's actually slightly scripted. Also, Reddit's a little simple-minded. And now we have one final challenge. We're loading up chat voting. Once again, for this one, Happy Face writes, man, Blank's Kaisa ult single-handedly turned that game around. Shout out Uzi, by the way, on RNG. I'm going to say it's not really an option here because it is an NALCS question. But Double Kaisa, Cody Sun's Kaisa, Deathly's Kaisa, or Power Beagle's Kaisa? Who most likely turned around a game from Happy Face?
Golden Guardians had a comeback.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, or is it a really bad ultimate where he ints?
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's
turns
the
the fight
other one
around.
I'm thinking about. I'm like, did anybody int this week? Oh my
I think
God.
it's Power of Evil.
I think it's Power of Evil.
Pee-wee turning things around?
I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna go double
I'm
lift.
gonna go Deathly. So we're
right.
scattered here.
Ooh, we're all wrong. Cody's son. Cody's son turned it around. 100 Thieves has some close games. Yeah, 100 Thieves. Oh yeah, they had to come back winning against Cloud9. That actually makes sense. If I remember who they played against, I would put it together for that.
Okay, that's right.
Cody's a good performer.
Wow, we scattered them around. We even had like a freebie with
Yeah,
Uzis. Like
we had removed the
wow.
option, and we went 0-3.
God, we're awful.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I don't take any blame as the host, so I'm going to bench you two for next week, and we'll find other people. Maybe bring back Hooney. He was much better at this.
Wow.
Including the Science Speedway.
What the heck?
I'm just toxic. Like, this is how it is. And meanwhile, chat, by the way, you know what? We should bring chat on. I think chat will be our guest. We'll just have a computer and beep, boop, beep, boop.
But a lot of them said Uzi.
Yeah, but that's a trolling. So this is Twitch chat we're talking about and YouTube chat. Like, they're just going to pick the one that doesn't count.
Okay.
All right. Either way, we're giving you benefit of the doubt the whole way through. Now, throughout the weekend, we took to Twitter, and you took to Twitter, rather, to praise the jaw-dropping moments that you saw, and we've decided to pull up some of our favorites brought to you by Acer Predator. Up first, RSG Ziki commends Grig's sacrifice for the good of the steal. And, yep.
That was just really, really close there. Lyra, though, not able to land that smite. Grig gets in there with the ultimate, the drive-by. Oh! Lyra does redeem himself later, gets the suppression with the Skarner ultimate into the steal on the Drake, and then ended up winning the game there. So Grig did basically what he could to keep TSN in that game at the time.
What are the comms like, Vile, when you're going for like Baron steals? Is it like let him die, just go for the 1 for 0, or do you like try to build space? Like, because TSN actually had charged in during that one.
There is a lot of things that you think about in a Baron steal. The comms are usually super hectic. I think in ours, we actually had a Baron steal. And Waynor was just like, burst it. And then we're just hoping to God that we get it.
Yeah, like, how does that one work? Because normally it's like the support's like, I'm going to headbutt this guy away or keep him out or like distract this guy. Top laners will like run interference. Nocturne's just like, no, he's going to go straight in.
Yep.
And you have to like either burst it or hold DPS and assume he's going to go in. But they like blue trinketed at that time. And I'm pretty sure even with Nocturne getting in there, like you're going to have that 50-50. Like Nocturne forced that.
Yep.
Oh, oof.
And they're unstoppable, so like you don't get to headbutt them or whatever. Sometimes life is pain. Next up, Panic Kiri highlighted Ole's binding supremacy on his pocket pick. This one, I think the bot lane 2v2 at like level 1 or whatever.
Yeah, I think this was like level 1, level 2.
Whoops.
This was brutal.
Yeah, so that's a good start.
Yeah, what's it like playing against Ole when, oh man,
Every skill bot lands.
And that just helps Kaisa so much because the Plaza being stacked by the Morgana Q into the guaranteed W means you only got to attack him twice. And then
Man, that Kaisa really turned the game around. See, I'm right.
But what's it like playing against Ole, especially when he gets that Morgana?
Well, I remember the first time I played against Ole's Morgana was when I was still on TSM and we were playing against his Caitlyn Morgana. I got hit by a bind and I was like,
lane.
well, I guess I'm dead now. And then I died again. It was a pretty bad game, but I haven't played against it recently.
Hopefully never again. You just ban it or, you know, just win the matchup.
Honestly,
anyway.
never again.
That's Finally, Jin shouts out Reignover's Baron steal around an incredibly well-played team fight, and we have Biofrost here. We've got their comms as well, so we'll listen to that.
Yo, careful. Pick this ping.
Just try to pressure them. Try to pressure them into me.
He in. I'm going. Okay, yo, no.
Let's go.
Yo,
Go kill her.
Yeah, I'm in. Swain.
Swain. We got Swain.
Is that?
We killed Swain.
Got it.
Nice.
Holy shit, let's go, Legion.
I thought your Swain Peel was really good, by the way. He's like trying to chase down Kaiser, and you're like, no.
Yeah, I actually don't even remember what we said there because I didn't hear the comms there.
Oh, it's
Oh, it
basically a lot of
didn't
Swain.
go through to you?
It's basically a lot.
Yeah,
He doesn't have an earpiece.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, you basically, I think Trevor was yelling Swain, 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 and he just like ate him and spit him back out. And then you guys were like, burst it, because he went over the wall. And then he smited, so you guys got it.
Yeah, that moment was pretty nerve-wracking. I'm just glad we got the Baron.
Yeah, I imagine your fans must be as well. That was a very close game, actually, overall. That one was super back and forth. One thing, actually, just kind of curious about that game. Aurelion Sol, I feel like, tends to slightly fall off as a champion. He's like an early mid-game roam champion. Does that, like, concern you when you're, like, 40 minutes in? You're like, ooh, we still have Ace Sol and the game's not over.
Yeah, so with our comp, luckily we had Kaisa, and we just knew that if we got to, like, 40 minutes with Kaisa, she's just a ticking time bomb. Like, her W just does, like, half of a person's HP.
Yeah, we noticed that. He, like, solo killed Febivin through, like, Zonias.
Yeah, it's crazy amount of damage.
It's pretty ridiculous. And even in that composition too, like Aurelion Sol, he usually falls off in the mid game, but against Trundle in particular, the pillar just destroys him. Like it'll make his stars retract, and then it makes it so he has to walk all the way around this thing. So it really does like hurt him a lot. So having the Kaisa was this huge boon for CLG in the late game.
And good job, of course. The champ select and the comp worked, and you guys played beautifully. So thank you all at home for your submissions. Make sure you keep tweeting your favorite plays all season long using the hashtag NALCS. Now, in addition to big plays, we also ask you to tweet us your questions, and we are also here to answer them, most specifically Biofrost. First question comes from Jerry the Squid, who asks when
Dr. Jerry.
Dr. Jerry the Squid. My
People
apologies.
get mad about that. They go to med school. They
No,
get
of course.
PhD.
Unless you're a surgeon in England, in which case you're back to Mister. Either way, he asks, when should the Cloud9 experiment end? I know you talked about this a little bit earlier, where you thought they were doing very well. I guess their results don't meet your expectations, but I guess still the question still stands to you.
Well, when I looked at their old roster, I never thought that they had any issues. So when they actually made the change, I was very surprised. I mean, I think the coaching staff knows the best, and if they're not getting results, that means they're probably going to end up changing things again. But whatever they end up doing, I'm pretty sure that C9 knows the best.
Yeah, it's so hard to call on this. Like, the fact that they went 0-2 this week with gigantic leads is indicative of the fact that they need some more veterans on the team. They need people to start talking a little bit more about how to end the game.
Sure.
So I think if anything, maybe Smoothie comes back in for Zeyzal. And they said for like, basically motivation issues. But I know that Jensen's been climbing in solo queue.
Yeah.
And from what I've been seeing from Keith in the mid game and the late game, I feel like it's very difficult to kind of play around him when he's not completely on. Sure. So I think that personally, I think the experiment should be over this week. I think the team goes back to the drawing board with the academy team and learns how to close games a little bit better. But that's what I would say, is I want to see the main squad back, because this decision was made before you even saw them on stage, which potentially could increase motivation, which could have them face some losses and stuff. So I think having them come out and never play a game on the LCS stage in the first 2 weeks is really hard to get a judge of like where they're going to be, because scrims are a different beast.
Sure, that's very true. I mean, that's something that I think like all of us know, where like teams do differently in scrims than they do on stage, either because of nerves or because the games are more or less chaotic. Either way, we'll have to see what comes through to that one. Maybe even see some crazy stuff like the Fnatic version, where like Reckless is out, but Whippo's playing bot lane, and like maybe it's the Jensen Golden Glue. Like that's the power duo, right? Like you never know. Either way, our next question is for Biofrost specifically, and comes from Jessica Rose, and asks, how are you dealing with being more of a shot caller on the team? Are you sharing responsibilities with another teammate?
Well, now we have actually a different system from last split. Okay. We have like everyone kind of doing it, and so far it's been working well for us. It's just that last split we had pretty limited time to like test it. So in the latter half of the split, we were like, okay, let's just do this. But now we've had more time to kind of like reflect on that and see like what works for us and what doesn't. And so far our system works. I think what we more have to focus on is like our execution.
Sure. Are you sort of, speaking of execution, are you sort of meeting expectations, under, overperforming? Like how do you think your 2-2 reflects on you as a team?
I think we're definitely underperforming right now. A lot of people would look at CLG and be like, okay, you're actually overperforming right now. We expected you to be like 0 wins, but I think there's a lot of good talent on the team, and I would expect us to do a lot better.
Okay. Well, we'll see that in the coming weeks. Of course, hoping to improve upon 7th. Of course, the goal being world for every team here. One final question is actually a challenge from Swim. Overreact to the first 2 weeks. Who makes worlds?
Golden Guardians.
Oh, whoa.
That was my answer too, actually.
Well,
like,
that's a big overreaction.
It's
like, why not Optic? Optic beat them, Golden Guardians, in like the first match. So
they're still 2-2 though.
Yeah, but they beat them. No.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously the whole point's overreaction. I mean, Liquid and Fox were in first, but those don't feel like overreactions. Like they're already going to Rift Rivals in 2 weeks, which is going to be exciting. And he's going to win, right, at Rift Rivals?
Of course.
Okay.
I've actually won Rift Rivals before.
That's right, yeah. A former Rift Rival champion, here to say NA still the best region in the West. Hell yeah. Absolutely hard agree.
He can come back next week.
Who's your third team going to Worlds, though? I guess you already said Golden Guardians, but
Yeah. Well, I just excluded ourselves.
TL Fox Guardians.
Yeah, I don't think you can't even choose yourself because that's an obvious.
Yeah, it's
answer.
cliche.
CLG is
Okay,
absolutely
yeah,
going.
yeah.
so.
You're gonna be automatic invite anyway. Just
Who else?
Being
Who else?
CLG.
It just feels so wrong for TSM to not be at Worlds.
Spoken like a former TSM player.
There's plenty of NA fans who like to say it feels bad to see some at Worlds, so I could see it. They've had some bad
true.
runs.
A lot of bad runs as well.
Is what it is.
Well,
Either way,
look forward to disappointment again.
No, NA's going to win Worlds this year. I tweeted it on April 1st. I believe it firmly. With this weekend coming to a close, look ahead at next week's schedule presented by Jersey Mike's. We've got some barn burners coming up for week 3 of the NALCS, the last week before Rift Rivals. This is the final tune-up games for North America for the biggest tournament of the year. Cloud9 versus TSM headlines at all. TL, you got CLG versus Optic down at the bottom right there. You thought that maybe they'd be going to Worlds as a team that beat Golden Guardians. Anything stand out to you?
I'm looking forward to Team Liquid versus EchoFox. Curious as to who's gonna win.
Yeah, first place match.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Cloud9 versus TSM because if it's the return of Jensen versus Bjergsen, or if it's Golden Blue, Vault Boy going up against Bjergsen in the mid lane there. So regardless of who they run, I really want to see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's like watching the C9 games because they're very, very curious, like what's actually going to come out of that one. And
Yeah, the players are under a microscope right now from
it absolutely
fans,
is,
right?
and the coach as well, and the staff as well, right? Like it's a rough situation to be in. We'll see what comes out of it. Either way, more exciting games on the way. So before we sign off, a special thank you once again to Biofrost here for joining us now. For myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week for more NALCS night. NALCS, good night. That's the one.
Better than Mark.
Favorite rivalry? It's probably Big versus Quan. It's always rubbed me the wrong way that Quan took Big spot back in Energy.
When you have two people pushing a lane, it can't be tough. The flick back from Kane is amazing. The flash is good. The ignite is down. And Quan, he gets it.
Lucian is our focus, guys. Lucian. I'm at terrace. There's. About. Don't get die here. Don't die.
Good job. Gets over the wall, but the jump is so short. Ulti for fun. Fruit Centaur finds him in Power of Evil. He's shut down. FlyQuest, they're trying to find their first win. FlyQuest find their victory.
August 4th, it's the rematch. How are you going to prepare to take Quan down?
1-1, boys.
I'm there, but you guys can win, I think. Good job, Johnny.
Okay, nice, Johnny.
Kill this guy. Kill Swam.
Hey, Yasu. We can fight together. Nice.
Lolo is able to find that big 34 proc, but Golden Guardian's health bars are looking pretty rough. The AoE is there. It's a triple kill for Altec. Fun, the one who's jumped on that still a Braum. That's still not the guy you need. The damage is there. And Echo Fox will completely obliterate the Golden Guardians line. Value support item. Again, damage backing up.
Don't have ulti. Hey, this guy, Peter.
Oh my God. Ignite down again. There's the killer instinct. Double is looking for it. Olay. We've seen this champion carry games, but right now we're seeing her get shot to pieces. A little bit more damage coming out. Tries to flash away, but not quite today.
Is that the kill Swain? 50. Got it. Nice. Oh my God, we're trolling, guys. What's happening? Okay.
Licorice bullying some days, but unless you actually get the kill.
Yeah, goes for grabs the first blood, but Keith actually takes out Meteos on the other side, and Licorice looking to re-go for the solo.
Yasu. I need help. Yasu. I don't say. Keep fight.
Nice.
Come on. Nice.
Scaring in a dive in, try and find a steal, but he doesn't grab it instead. The fight will start as Cody again. Killer instinct to the backline, takes down Zazel.
Yasu. Kill the Yasu.
I'm here 1 second. Nice. Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. This one's for sneaky boys.